Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pitchside Podcast channel. I'm your host, the HOD of the PSP. Of course, like, share, comment on this video, subscribe to the channel most importantly, and enable notifications to receive all the updates from these match recaps and the other content on the channel. And when coming off after the game between Tottenham and Liverpool just ended at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with the loss of Spurs 1-3 against Liverpool. This was more of the Liverpool that we know and love, really, in the Premier League. Certainly, it will be good for Jurgen Klopp. It will feel really good for the players to be returning to normalcy. Although they started the game with yet another change in the centre-half pairing. Matip and Henderson, of course, Fabinho was pulled out of the game due to a muscle injury right before it. Starting with Thiago, Wijnaldum, and Milner, yet another change in the midfield as well, and the usual front three of Firmino, Salah, and Mane. Tottenham started with what seemed like a 3-4-3 in the beginning, more of a sort of a compact kind of clear lines on the pitch, relying on Rodon starting, no Reguilon on the side for injury. Ben Davies started as a third centre-half instead of starting as a wing-back. Matt Doherty started as a left wing-back, Aurier on the right, and Ndombele pulled a little bit deeper than usual with Tottenham alongside Højbjerg, who I thought was Tottenham's best player in the game so far. Liverpool didn't start well in the first half. The first 5 to 6 minutes, really, although they had a first chance of the game for Sadio Mane, thanks to a long ball, which will prove to be the Achilles heel again and the kryptonite for Tottenham. Tottenham scored a goal that was chalked off by offside, had a couple of situations where they creeped behind the centre-halves, the usual combination of Son and Kane. The goal was chalked off at the tightest of offside margins, really, but of course rightfully chalked off anyway, if we're going to be adhering to the rules. Liverpool after that, I think, took the game by the scruff of the neck, but they didn't manage to score just quite. They weren't quite effective on target as you expect them to be. They had a ridiculous amount of shots, by the way. They had 14 shots in the game, which is, really, really big when you consider everything. The first half was, for most of it, Liverpool trying to play sideways. They weren't exactly that penetrative, from slick passing that you expect to see Liverpool playing with. Thiago was, clearly marked by Højbjerg, more so than in Ndombele. I mean, Højbjerg probably had a clear-cut message from Mourinho to mark Thiago, who's moving all over the midfield, and Højbjerg was moving with him. He was terrific, Højbjerg again, probably the only shining light, really, in the Tottenham outfit on the night. Late on in the first half, it was bad defending. That goal that Tottenham conceded in the first half was ridiculous, really. Lloris and Dyer, none of them spring to the ball. They could have taken it. Lloris could have collected it. Dyer could have cleared it out. I don't know why none of them did, what they were supposed to do. Firmino find literally, the space to tap it in on the line of the goal, pretty much, for a 1-0 lead at halftime for Liverpool. He will not find a goal easier than that in his whole career, probably. I mean, he scored a similar one against Tottenham as well a couple of seasons ago, so that's as easy as it could get. The timing of the goal was pretty harming, pretty damaging for Liverpool, for Tottenham's point of view, and it was really, really uplifting for Liverpool finally scoring. They were about to go 500 minutes without scoring, but they managed to score late on in the first half, and that changed the complexion of the game completely. And one other point of the game that was really important was the injury to Harry Kane. It changed also the game in terms that Tottenham were not the same anymore. Mourinho had his hands tied to his back. He was forced to make changes. He brought in Lamela and Harry Winks early on after the break, and this, I think, proved very, very disturbing for Tottenham, who lost their shape for quite a while. They tried to settle in with the new formation, reverting to the 4-2-3-1, and Liverpool caught them in that moment, and those couple of moments, scoring the second goal thanks to Alexander-Arnold. But they caught them in a couple of minutes, and then Tottenham managed to grab one back thanks to Pierre-Emil Højbjerg, arguably again the best player on the night for Tottenham, from a beautiful shot from outside the box, which demonstrated another aspect of Liverpool's game as of late, which saw them regress a little bit this season, which is the lack of pressing. Sometimes they drop off sometimes and they leave some space for the Tottenham players. We saw that happen in the first half. In the second half, the first time they do that, Højbjerg manages a shot, which is something that Liverpool didn't do in the first half. They didn't shoot from outside the box. They didn't shoot overall, if you think about it. Really, they had 3 shots with 2 on target for the whole game, which was the goal and another shot from Son in the first half, and that was about it. And then Liverpool managed to score another goal that was chalked off for Mo Salah for a handball on Firmino. After that, I think it was all Liverpool all along. They scored the third thanks to Sadio Mane from an assist from Alexander-Arnold. 66th minute, 3-1 for Liverpool. It was game, set and match. What came after was pretty much formalities. Tottenham couldn't dominate, they couldn't do anything. They were left with some possession at certain points, but they didn't know what to do with it. Liverpool just, pounced on them. They could have scored a couple of other goals, really, but it was, for some sloppy decision making in the final third from Liverpool, more than the actual good defending from Tottenham, which was awful at certain points. Joe Rodon had a hard game, and he's a youngster, he can't be really blamed, but he had a tough game against the likes of Mane and Firmino. His positioning was wrong, his decision making was wrong. The third goal in particular, his touch was pretty wrongly judged, I would say, given Mane the opportunity to score the third goal. I don't want to talk any more about this game, really, because it is summed up in 2 points: bad defending from Tottenham, and a clinical finish from Liverpool. The clinical finishing that we didn't see for a month and a half from Liverpool in the Premier League returned in droves against Tottenham Hotspur. I think it was against the right opponent, the right time to sort of relaunch that campaign this season. I think after a bit of a dud period for the last 5 or 6 games in the Premier League, relaunching the campaign with the win against probably the most park the bus, quote-unquote, side in the Premier League in Tottenham Hotspur. Jose Mourinho certainly would be fuming with the goals that he conceded, because the 3 of them were pretty much, stupid goals, each in its own way, from individual mistakes, from bad positioning, spaces and behind, a combination of the 3 of those things. Liverpool managed to put the stamp on this victory, seal the deal. It was pretty comfortable eventually, if I may say so, for Liverpool. They move 4th, 37 points. They have a hard game against West Ham waiting for them on the weekend, just behind them on the table now at 5th. And, it will be really interesting to see where Liverpool could go from here. It will be interesting to see where Tottenham go from here, because this is the 6th loss this season, and the 6th loss against Liverpool in as many games. So, where Tottenham should go from here, it's unknown. Can they finish in the top 4? Can they save a top 4 finish or a top 5 finish even? It doesn't look very likely. For Liverpool now, it's again an official relaunch of their campaign this season, maybe, to regain the title once again. That is from me for this match recap. Like, share, comment on this video, most importantly subscribe to the channel, enable notifications, comment what you think of the game below. I'm at SitePSP on Twitter, PSP on Instagram, follow me there, and until the next time, I will be seeing you soon. Goodbye.